We're here at the Cardinal Caravan in Mt Vernon. I'm joined by Chris Hrabe from KMOX Sports. And you are all familiar with Chris, hearing him on pregame and postgame reports with the Cardinals on KMOX. And Chris, you got to be excited about what this Cardinal team is going to look like this year, particularly with the new acquisitions of Paul Goldschmidt and Adam Miller.
I am. First of all, most excited to be with you since I didn't get to see any of your interviewing prowess down at spring training a couple of years ago. But yeah, I think everyone's really excited. Kind of the storyline around baseball this offseason has been, I think, what isn't happening. There are a lot of teams that haven't done much, a lot of players that are still looking for jobs, and I think that the Cardinals identified at the beginning of the offseason what they wanted to do, how they wanted to improve, and they've done that. I think in Paul Goldschmidt, they've found perhaps the middle of the order kind of transformative piece that they really haven't had since Albert Pujols, and then the acquisition of Matt Holliday. And as you said, Miller has been just one of the best relievers any way you want to cut it in baseball over the last few years. And certainly I think a little help from the left side is something that they've been looking for. So, I think you're excited right now. Can't believe that it's 3 weeks until spring training, but right now, the way I judge it, I think this is absolutely right now on paper a better team than they were at the end of last year.
Oh, I would agree with that too. And Goldie's one of those kind of guys that not only goes about his business and puts up big numbers, but he's going to be a great guy in the clubhouse too.
The day of the acquisition, I called Daniel Descalso and asked him who he would compare Paul Goldschmidt to. And he said, listen, I don't want this to sound over the top, but Daniel played with Paul the last 2 years in Arizona. His locker was next to him, knows him really well. He said Albert Pujols is the closest comparison I can make because of the way he plays on the field, every phase of the game, hitting, fielding, base running, MVP candidate. But he said the kind of guy he is and the kind of person he is in the community reminds me of Albert. So that's always been something that's been really important to the DeWitts, the ownership group, to John Mozeliak, is finding not just great players but great people. And I think they've hopefully found that in Paul, and we'll see. Maybe it could be a long-term relationship.
On this Caravan stop here in Mt Vernon, of course, you got Alex Reyes with you too, and of course we are all excited about seeing Alex get back on the mound. I know he did some throwing earlier this week in Jupiter, and it looks like he's making good progress.
Yeah, good progress throwing, doing long toss. I won't speak for him, but what he's said to me is that feels good and is excited to, get going in spring training. So I know it's been a couple of rough years for him, but after going through the rehab process, I think everyone's really, really excited, whatever role he has, about what he can do.
Yeah, and that's right, because we don't know whether he's going to be a starter or come out of the bullpen, but either way, he's going to be quite an asset to the Cardinals.
Yeah, just such a weapon, and I think that kind of speaks to the depth within the organization. Daniel Ponce de Leon is a really good example as well. There are so many guys who have done different things. They've been starters in the minor leagues. Dakota Hudson last year, they come up to the big leagues, thrive in the bullpen. They've been in the bullpen, they stretch them out to become starters. John Gant. I think Alex is kind of the perfect example of that. Long term, they want him to be in the rotation. And, I know Mike Gersh has said that the goal is by next year at this time, there will be no restrictions, can go full year starting. But, right now, just holy cow, one of the awesome arms that I think everybody's looking forward to watching.
I am too. Appreciate your time, Chris. Thanks so much.
It was great to see you guys. Thanks.
Right,